Start video transmission for YouTube. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 News. This is the 14th of May 2021. I am one of your hosts, Alice. At least I've done, like, you're shaking your head. I was in a good flow there to do my intro. Last week I couldn't even remember how to introduce the news. So anyway, you're here for the 42 News, your weekly dose of news with myself, Ali, and here with me, as always,
Standard here as always on the 14/05/2021.
I'll give you the 14, but I don't accept a 0 in front of my dates.
There's always a 0.
It's not a 0. Like, if you ask anyone to write the date, they're not writing a 05.
Yeah.
I can see it here, and everyone on YouTube can see right here the date as it should be.
Sorry for all the people on YouTube for your eyes being burned by the incorrect date there.
I'm just going to check your
I
volume.
told you the correct date there. I told you the correct date there with the correct number of zeros in the date. So yes, I fixed the problem for you, Ali. Don't worry. I got your back. I got you covered. Okay, so we will crack on with the news. There's a fair bit of news this week. Cool. Hopefully it's working. We're trying a slightly different setup this week with we're piping things through Discord rather than Zoom. So
which is
and we're trying
camera wise. But audio wise for Andy, it's now much more listenable. Like, he sounds the same coming through my headset, but the output now is much better. So thanks, Fraser, for helping. I still can't find the Discord options, but for what we need just now, it's working. All we now need is our background thing, and hopefully that's it. And I'm just there's got to be a way to improve this video. I'm not going to play around with it during the show because I've been known to do that in past shows and
break everything. So yeah, we're going to crack on with the news. So first of all, Capcom drew a giant lichen on a hillside to celebrate the launch of Resident Evil Village. That's
cool. I mean, you get a lot of these, mostly down in England. I think there's some in Scotland as well, and it's almost done like stone, like paintings of cavemen and stuff. I just did a thought there, like, wouldn't Capcom have been? Never mind. It's a silly thought. Like, if Capcom had just started and the internet had just arrived, they should have absolutely registered their website as Cap, so it was www.cap.com. So it was Capcom. Just a thought.
Jesus. Okay. But I mean, then what would the people that are looking for caps do? Like, I bet you cap.com. No, cap.com, I don't like that. I bet you that is a website that does exist, and I bet you they sell hats, or it's hat collectors or some shit like that. He's checking. He's going to cap.com.
Cap.com. If you go to cap.com, it pulls up Gary Chernoff, the president at netincome.com, who stays in British Columbia, Canada's LinkedIn profile page.
Okay.
You can test that, listeners, if you want. Look, this is the guy. Cap.com. Why?
He must just own that website.
His website's netincome.com. But he also owns cap.com. Maybe he was hoping to sell it to Capcom, like me.
I don't think so. It's probably something to do with CAP. It probably stands for something in his business world. But who knows? Who cares? Adidas and Xbox, though, are releasing a pair of trainers.
They're not as cool as the PG5 basketball shoes. They're just not. I bought PlayStation socks this week to go with my PG5s because I've got my alarms. I think it's tomorrow or tonight. Hold on. I better check Nike. I really like the PlayStation ones, but I don't like the white one. You're the same. The all white ones are too white. I mean, I bought white Jordans and I'm scared to wear them. But these ones, there's a blue version that the sort of front bit's more dark and it's nicer.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Epic Games apparently offered Sony $200 million to bring some PS4 and PS5 games exclusive to its store. So there's been one or two games that have done this already. So, like, I think Detroit and Beyond Two Souls and stuff did this, but could other ones follow suit? Don't know. This is all coming out from the
lawsuit,
Fortnite, Apple lawsuit nonsense. So, PlayStation Vita games are going to cease this summer. So the PS Vita store will remain open, but new PlayStation Vita games will stop coming out as of the summer.
Well, official ones because you can still get guys that will do Kickstarters, because technically Mega Drive games stopped years ago and you can still get them now and then on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I think they mean on the store though, because you could still make a
physical one.
I don't know, like, you'd have to have the Vita cards though. The Vita cards are harder to get, because I think Sony stopped making the cards now. There's only a few publishers that actually still have any left. The classic Xbox dynamic background got leaked and then got released.
I like it, but I'm not a fan of the original Xbox. And it's going to be for an anniversary, but I've answered one question. I'm like, why don't they do a 360 one, which was my favourite Xbox console? Don't get me wrong, Series X is okay, but the 360, the Blades background, I don't even care if it's like an actual interface, I just want that as the background. A bit like, remember Sony done, was it the PS2 one? I'm sure Sony done a PS2 one for an anniversary, or they done something like this for the PS4. Was it the 20th anniversary for Sony they did one?
I mean, it wasn't really that different. It might have been no, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure
there was the anniversary ones, but they didn't look anything like the old interfaces.
See, this it's fine. I've changed it to it, but I'm probably going to change it back, because I like the sort of like green rainbow one that I had that kind of comes in and out. I like that one, and this is the only thing that tells me that I've got an next-gen Xbox. From my Xbox One is the moving background, but it's cool. I mean, the original Xbox has got a lot of love from hardcore Xbox fans, but for me, I didn't join the Xbox revolution till the 360. That's where my love was for, and it's a shame that Andy missed that era, because I think he would have enjoyed some of the things at the time as well. Although he wouldn't be able to enjoy Mass Effect 1 in 2021 the same way. Talk more about that on Tuesday.
I don't mind that I missed the 360 generation, honestly. Like, see, from using the 360, like, it's fucking trash garbage compared to the PS3.
This is incorrect information, because it had the best online service out of all of them, and it still does. It stands to today. This is crazy talk from a madman.
The PS3 was an amazing
a broken
console,
system that they can't do backwards compatibility for, that had awful versions of third-party games in comparison to their 360 counterparts. Let's be honest, it had some really good first-party games like Last of Us, Uncharted 2 and 3. I don't know, I didn't play 3. Sackboy 1.
I played all of that generation on the PS3, and like, I had an amazing time that entire generation, and it went on forever. And I bought and played so many games on it, digital and physical. And yeah, I like comparing what I've used the Xbox 360 to, like, because I've obviously used the 360 to work and stuff. And like,
these are grey and black. I like them.
I don't like them. I like the blue one. The controller for the 360 is shit. It's a shit controller.
Incorrect. It's far better than the DualShock 3, which was the worst of all the controllers. The DualShock 4 is far better. The DualSense is the best one they've ever made.
Yes. I'm still on the fence between the two new ones, but in terms of the normal controlling.
What?
So normal controlling, like outside of haptics and triggers. Outside of those.
The PlayStation by far. Like, here's a test. Try and type something into that Xbox menu with the standard Series X when it's fine on the Elite. It's awful D-pad.
I wasn't talking about the Xbox controller versus the PlayStation controllers. There's no competition there. I mean, between the PS4 controller and the PS5 controller.
Oh, this one's better because the triggers just feel nicer. The PS4s seem to just finish slightly too soon. They seem too short, just. And this is the best. It fits better in the hand. DualShock's dead. Long live the DualSense.
Okay, Lost Judgment apparently has a season pass and possibly story DLC coming for it as well. So that kind of makes sense. Like, Yakuza 7 had a bunch of DLC. None of it was story based though. It was a bunch of costumes and shit. But yeah, if they've got more things to add. But I mean, this game's not even out yet. Like, so cool. I'm guessing they're going to do a fucking deluxe edition or whatever for it that includes the season pass and the usual.
So those PG5s are select regions only, because I could buy them right now in America, but I'm
like, okay, he's going to have an input on this. No, he's just talking about trailers.
What was the question?
Never mind. A filmmaker has accused Capcom of stealing Resident Evil Village's monster designs.
They did.
So I don't know anything about this. What is this?
So basically, I don't know about the horror director, but there's a villain that I've not came across yet. So slight spoilers for Resident Evil 8 here, but it's basically a Silent Hill looking villain who's got a propeller kind of for a head or stuck on his head. And it's a kind of like unique looking villain until you see this guy's creature for his movie, which is the same thing, and it was out well before Resident Evil 8. So they have blatantly ripped this off. It's not something you might, they're accidentally the same, because not many people think about jamming a propeller in a big hulking monster's face. And it's far too similar.
I mean, I don't know. I had a look at the pictures here. Like, it doesn't look that.
Are they both monsters? Yes. Have they both got propellers for faces?
I guess so. Like,
They're the same. Yeah. That's like painting the Little Mermaid's tail blue and saying, yeah, it's not Ariel.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, nothing will come of that. They're not identical, so nothing will come of that. Monster Hunter Rise has helped Capcom hit record profits once again. So yeah, this happened after Monster Hunter World. They did amazing and they had great profits. And this year has been the same, because Monster Hunter Rise was a big success. It's already sold more than 6 million units.
That's a lot for just a Switch game. But then again, it's when you think that how much Switches are still selling, it's crazy. So like Monster Hunter Rise, a really good game. I'm waiting for, is it 3.0 that's meant to be out in a week or two's time? That's the boy. That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yep. Resident Evil Village is the third biggest PS5 launch so far of the year. And we also have the UK boxed charts for last week, which is obviously Resident Evil just came out last week. So number 10, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Ring Fit Adventure, Grand Theft Auto, Super Mario 3D World, Minecraft on Switch, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, FIFA 21, new Pokemon Snap, and Resident Evil Village. Mass Effect will come in and probably be number 1 next week, do you think?
See, I'm undecided. Resident Evil's definitely got a bigger fan base than Mass Effect. I think Mass Effect's a better game. Sorry, is that the right word?
It goes straight into number 1. Yeah. I think Mass Effect goes in straight number 1 there, and Resident Evil will drop to 2.
I like the world characters better. You might be right, but I don't know if Mass Effect's as popular. I would love to be surprised. I just don't know how popular Mass Effect is anymore.
Yeah, but if you think about it though,
compared to Resident Evil, yeah,
totally. But this is Resident Evil's launch week here, like that we're talking about. That's the launch week. They've had that. All the pre-orders are in. Blah blah blah. Like Mass Effect now will come out and this week, and we'll talk about next week's charts, and all their pre-orders will come in on this week. So they're bound to sell more than Resident Evil sells on its second week in the charts, because they won't have the pre-orders and stuff in there.
True.
And this is bearing in mind this is only boxed copies of the games, not digital. So, like, yeah, you bought Resident Evil digital, so it does not count towards that.
And Mass Effect.
And same, like, I bought Mass Effect digital, so it does not count towards this. And you bought Mass Effect digital as well, so. And I would not buy Resident Evil, because no thank you.
You'd be able to play this one.
Yeah. I would definitely be able to play it, but I just don't want to. Like, I'm quite happy to watch you or Fraser, or in fact, I know you're not going to do a full playthrough, so I'll just watch Fraser play it when he does it. I'll quite happily watch that because it's entertaining to me in that way. But like for me to play it, I'm not really interested. It's not scary enough for me to want to stream it.
To be fun, yeah.
And it's not like the sort of game that I'll go like, oh yeah, I'm going to enjoy.
And you're jumping in the 8th game in a series that you've not played all the way through, and it's the second one of an ongoing trilogy with a new character that you haven't played 7. Yeah, you're absolutely. If anything, you should definitely try 7 at one point online for a stream, because that'll be funny to watch.
I will try 7 in VR at some point because it looks fucking terrifying.
Andy smashes his VR headset. No. Sitting crying. Okay. Ashley, destroy it. Ashley, destroy it.
Interestingly though, with the charts, Returnal gone from the top 10. Gone.
Returnal's actually going to be gone from my system when Ratchet arrives in a month's time. A month today, I think. A month tomorrow. Yeah.
Are you regretting buying it digital? That's the question.
Nah, I don't regret digital purchases. It's just
Okay.
I took a chance on Returnal. I was quite excited by it, but I wasn't sure if I'd enjoy it. And the thing is, I did enjoy it up until I realised how much time I'd actually sunk in the thing. That's when I stopped. That's when my dreams were shattered last night. Basically, I was like, yeah, that's long enough to finish a normal story-based campaign game, and I can't even fight the first boss. It's not that I suck at the game. I mean, you see me progressing okay. I made a fuck up in my first run, but it happens to everybody. And in my second run, made it all the way to the boss, got my health up, got some collectibles, got my adrenaline up, took the boss first 2 health bars down, and then the third one, it just seems overly unfair. It's like Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 3. It's designed to beat you.
Well, there are only 5 bosses in Returnal.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just fed up now of, okay, there's nothing this game has to offer me in the first level anymore. I just need to beat the first boss. Like, I know the rooms, I know what... The only time you die quick is if you open the first door and there's those 2 big wolf fire things or the Groot things, they'll kill you straight away. But generally, if I get an okay or medium run, I can run through it to the boss, no bother, and collect stuff. But the boss, just first 2 health bars, not a problem. The third one, I think it's slightly unfair, the difficulty on that. And yeah, folk will be screaming, get good. I can't, so...
Fair enough. Okay, Xbox Game Pass members in the UK are more likely to play games online with friends and family at least once a week compared to non-members. I mean, obviously that makes sense, because a lot of people that have Game Pass Ultimate, because it's just great value and that includes your gold and everything. So yeah, of course. Plus there is a bunch of games on Game Pass that are multiplayer games. Like, obviously we've been playing through Gears. Previously I was playing Outriders at one point. Yeah, so there's shitloads. Of course they are. That just makes complete sense. What is this? 98% of British gamers have an entertainment subscription of some form, and 83% have access to a gaming subscription.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
That 83% of gamers seems high.
This could be bundling in. Or was this Game Pass, wasn't it? This is based off of Xbox.
No, it's but it's not talking about Game Pass, right? So like 98% of British gamers have an entertainment subscription of some form.
Right. So Xbox Gold will count.
All that. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Because it technically it's a subscription, I suppose. So
and it gives you free games. Yep.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it still seems very high.
True.
Sony has reiterated that there will be PS5 shortages for the significant...
Till next year, Andy.
Period. Yeah, so until 2022, basically.
That's insane, but I think this is to do with the silicon shortage, because it's not just PlayStation that's in the queue for this. Xbox is in the queue. The PS4 and the Xbox One aren't off the production lines yet. You've got the Switch that will use components like this. Most mobile phones that are smartphones will use these components, so... It's just the world we're in.
Like basically any like high level electronics needs this shit to work.
Yeah. And there's a shortage.
There's a shortage of it, and they can't really charge more for it. Like for some reason.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The problem is they can't up the price. The people that make this shit, they can't up the price of it. Because if you think that like, okay, there's a massive demand for this, we'll bump the price up a little bit. That'll allow us to hire more workers to get more of it. Like, because I don't know how you get this shit, like mine it or whatever. But yeah, it's got to be there.
Surely there's going to be somebody out there that's smarter than me, like an Elon Musk type, that could probably come up with an alternative to this that would do the same thing. There's got to be.
I would imagine there's somebody working on that in R&D right now. Probably at Sony. Okay, Mass Effect Legendary Edition may have released a day early on Xbox, except it didn't, but only in Australia.
New Zealand.
In New Zealand.
No, Australia wasn't a day early, because I tried Australia first, right? Oh. And it actually said it was the 14th. Only the New Zealand store said it was actually out on the 13th of May at 1 p.m.
Which is weird.
I don't know, because I tried to stay up past... Because it was going to be 2 p.m. here was 1 p.m. 2 a.m. here was 1 p.m. there, and I fell asleep before the time, so I managed to play it last night after my work. But it's out today. It's officially out today everywhere.
Yep. The Coalition is moving to next-gen development on Unreal Engine 5. So this will be for Gears.
Does this say to you that Gears 6 is next-gen only then, and at least a couple of years away?
100%. Yep.
Good.
I think that makes complete sense. I don't think they'll bother with the last-gen version.
No.
The PlayStation Store... Oh, PlayStation Store charts, right. Okay.
Yeah, this was quite cool. So Sony's doing this now.
What is it? This article does not give me the chart. What a crap article.
It does.
I have to link to the chart. There's a link to the chart, but it does not give me the actual chart. Okay, so this is in... Let's talk about just Europe then, because it's not interesting to talk about America. So this is the top 20 games in Europe on PSN on PS5, right? We don't care about last gen anymore. PS5. So 20 is MLB The Show 21. I would have thought that would have sold better than 20. But Europe, I suppose, like... It's weird. In America, that's number 1. But yeah, Europe, people don't like MLB as much. Number 19, Rainbow Six Siege. 18, Immortals Phoenix Rising. 17, No Man's Sky. 16, Borderlands 3. These are all kind of cheaper, older games there. Watch Dogs Legion 15. Demon's Souls, still kicking about there. Dirt 5. Dirt 5 is fine. NBA 2K21. That had a sale on PS5 recently, so that's probably why that's still reasonably up there. Hitman 3. Disco Elysium, the final cut. I bought that recently. Marvel's Avengers at 9. Mortal Kombat 11 at 8. Spider-Man Miles Morales at 7. Assassin's Creed Valhalla at 6. Black Ops Cold War at 5. Returnal at 4. It Takes Two at 3. Outriders at 2 and FIFA 21 at 1. So are you surprised by anything that's in there?
Yeah, Immortal's still hanging about in the top 20.
It must be like a lower price point now. Like on the store. It's gotta be. That's the only reason I can think of for that. What is this? April 21's top downloads as well. Oh my god, Sony sharing so many things. Right, so. Wait, this is the same article. You just sent me the same article. So that's April 21's. You sent me the same thing from 2 different sources. Oh my god. Right, okay. Moving on from that, so Switch Pro. I'm fed up talking about this fucking Switch Pro
Just
nonsense.
bring it out. It's coming because this is a news story that more or less like confirms it because it's in an investor's call for another company.
Yeah, they're talking about it's basically the company that makes the OLED display the company that makes the OLED display. They have been mentioning Switch Pro during their Q1 investor calls.
Which means it's coming.
It's probably coming.
It might not be called a Switch Pro. Disclaimer.
Resident Evil Village sold nearly half of all of its copies on PS5. So PS5 gamers want to play Resident Evil 5 and Series X and S and all the rest probably don't care.
That's because it's a PlayStation game. It was a PlayStation game to start with.
Yeah. I don't have any actual numbers for Resident Evil yet. Did you see any anywhere? Like for how many copies?
Yeah, actually there was. But I think it's further down in the news.
Okay. I'll get to that. Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 will start immediately after Intergrade ends. So the story of Intergrade is going to lead directly into Part 2 of the remake. So Intergrade's a weird one, right? So like, obviously I'm going to buy the DLC, but I really just hope that I can play the DLC without having to play through the game again. Like, if that's because you know how these things can work a bit funkily sometimes, because it's a new version of the game for PS5. Like, and obviously we'll get the version, but it depends if it's the saves and stuff carry over as to whether you can just go straight into Intergrade. So I hope we have that option to just play Intergrade because I don't need to play Final Fantasy VII Remake again. I already completed it.
I don't think you. Oh, you mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes they introduce these things and it's missions in the game, like in Horizon, and it's not separate.
Yep. Well, I mean, Horizon, you have to complete the game basically to do the DLC.
No, you can go to it because it's an area in the map. Like now that I've got the complete edition It's a second area in the map. You can go there. I'm not saying you'll be able to beat it, but you can definitely go there.
Yeah, I think there's like a sort of level recommendation though.
Yeah.
And it's like it's basically like
End
you
game.
need to end game to do this, which would have been fine if they hadn't fucked up the way they saved transfer.
A better example is Watch Dogs 2 then. The DLC for that just appears in game. Like you have to be playing the game, it's not separate. I know this Assassin's Creed they've done it with, like Assassin's Creed 3, no, Assassin's Creed 4. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 DLC came separate, didn't it? The one with Adewale.
Yeah, it was all separate. You could buy it completely separately. Yeah, Freedom Cry. Okay, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry publisher Ubisoft is now going to brand all of its games that are made by internal studios as Ubisoft Originals. So the first game to have that on it is going to be The Division Heartland, which is the free-to-play spin-off game, and it's coming out later this year.
Yeah, because people tend to forget, and it's cool. Ubisoft make all their own games. They don't like EA own studios. Do you know what I mean? Like they own BioWare and stuff. So even though it's like EA's Mass Effect, EA didn't make that in-house. It was they own BioWare, but do you know what I mean? Like it's Ubisoft themselves. You make it with the Ubisoft studios. It's not like they're the umbrella of several.
So like Ubisoft currently doesn't publish any major games from any external studios, but the way that they're branding this makes it sound like they might do that, because why else would they have that?
Just to show that their games are their own games, like that they're not.
Yeah, no, absolutely, but I think this is to differentiate their Ubisoft original games
from ones they might publish. Possibly.
Yeah. I think they're going to publish some games for somebody at some point.
It makes sense if it's business savvy.
Yeah, like, because you can make money from publishing games 100%, so.
Yeah, you don't need to make the game.
Okay, Resident Evil, let's see. Resident Evil Village has had the series' joint best launch since Resident Evil 6 back in 2012.
Which had a decent launch, from what I remember.
Yeah, Capcom have announced that they've shipped 3 million units.
So that's units sold to Capcom because they've sold them to the distributors. So, see when it came out, like they were doing this for what was it, Rise and other games like that. Like the shipped units to Capcom, that sales because they've sold them to like the retail outlets like GameStop and stuff and Amazon. They've paid for those copies, so Capcom has sold them. We as consumers buy it off technically a third party who buy them off for Capcom. So yeah, that's a lot. 3 million.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, the Days of Play. Days of Play 2021 is coming, and I don't know if you saw this thing, right? But like basically, there are community goal prizes, and you can basically get rewards for playing games and earning trophies and games.
So you sent me it. You sent me it, and I signed up for it, but I had no idea what it is. Does it work kind of the same way the Game Pass rewards do? Is it that kind of idea, like log into this game, get an achievement?
Yeah, kind of like that, but like the achievements are like probably something that you won't care about. There's an exclusive PSN avatar and theme.
I'm gonna get a cookie.
Yeah, and there are 5 exclusive avatars that you can get, and it looks like it's Sackboy, Aloy, Ellie, and on the picture I've got here is quite small, so it could be Kratos maybe, and maybe Nathan Drake would be my guess. I can't quite tell from the picture. Oh no! In stage 3 that they have here, Kratos is the one there, so it must not be Kratos. I don't know what that is. Don't know. It's difficult to see. But then there's some more. Like basically, it's a bunch of avatars and and like 3 different themes that you can unlock as the community progresses. So if you earn trophies in games and play games for a certain number of hours, and it's not very many. It's like 6 hours over a week or something. So it's not a lot. So go and sign up if you're interested in getting those. Avatars and themes. The themes look okay.
See, it sucks compared to Xbox. Xbox give you like £5. I get £5 every month for free from Xbox.
Like I don't play enough on.
You don't
to get that. Yeah. And like the game, because I play a lot of like Fortnite and stuff on Xbox. So
it's your multiplayer console.
Yeah.
this so far, this launch year or half year that we've had so far, neither consoles took precedence for me. Like, this is the first time ever that I've had both consoles and I've been playing them both equally. I have my preferences, as you know, and listeners of the show know, but not one it gets abandoned permanently. It's not like I'm sitting going, oh, I haven't played my Xbox for weeks, or I haven't played my PlayStation for weeks, which, as you know, happens to me all the time, be it 360 PS3, be it PS4 Xbox One. But this time around, they're both still even standing. They both earned their place. The one that's fell away is the Switch.
Yeah, I'm not playing the Switch anymore at all, really. Like, I don't think since I got the new consoles, I've barely played the Switch.
That's why. It doesn't look nice.
Well, it's not that. There's just nothing on there that I'm like, I want to play that right now. Like, they haven't put anything out in the last 6 months that speaks to me at all, like, whatsoever. Apart from Mario 3D World, the Bowser's Fury part. That's the only thing that I was like, I need to play that. Everything else that's come out, I'm like, I don't care about that at all. Like, they haven't put out anything that is of any note to me. With no Zelda, no Mario, no Metroid, no Splatoon, no, like, nothing. So that's why I haven't played it. Okay, the Assassin's Creed franchise just had its best sales year ever. Which is nuts, considering how fucking boring that game is. Their annual revenue was up 50% compared to their prior record, which was set in 2012 to 13. That's crazy. Like, have you gone away? He's gone away. That's why he's not talking. Yeah, so their strongest quarter in history was February 2021, driven in part by record launch sales for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and obviously it came out back in November, but it's continued to sell throughout then. So again, probably lockdowns and stuff over here certainly have helped that, because it is a big long game, and people maybe went, oh, okay, like, I've got time just now to sit and play through this, and went for it. And yeah, it took me months and months to do it because I was working at the same time. But yeah, there you go. I don't know if Valhalla is actually given a number for how many copies it's sold. I haven't seen that anywhere.
What do you think it was? Was its previous biggest game, Assassin's Creed 2?
Not sure. Assassin's Creed 3. So Assassin's Creed 3 still has the record in terms of franchise unit sales during a launch quarter, right? So
that was very, very widely hyped, that game, I would say. Like, it was everywhere. Totally.
Assassin's Creed 3 shipped over 12 million units in its launch quarter, which is insane. But it doesn't actually tell me anywhere in this article how many units. No, it doesn't tell me how many units Valhalla's shipped. Does not tell me. What a useful article that was to me. But anyway, they made a lot of money for Valhalla and DLC and all that shit. So, okay, Battlefield 6 is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Yes, confirmed.
Boo.
I'm boo on that as well. Like, I'd rather they just were making it for next gen.
But no matter what the publishers say, or developers, publishing it on last gen holds back the game.
Yep.
Unless it's like the Wii, which had its own versions of games, like the Ghostbusters, like Tiger Woods, it had its own separate version, then it's holding back the game for everybody, especially when it's crossplay. Waiting times in the lobbies in Fortnite do my head in. It's like, I'm waiting on a guy on Switch probably here, or somebody on PS4 or tablet.
Yeah. Okay. Yakuza 7 was the most successful title in the franchise worldwide.
Understandably so. I mean, they made a heavy push over here. I mean, the games had a niche following, I would say. Did you agree with that? They had a kind of niche following. They weren't like chart breaking, like number one games over here. And Yakuza 7 came out and it was very hyped up. And it was seen as a fresh start. I mean, it was a fresh start that tied into the old ones without having to know who the characters were. So I enjoyed it a lot. It doesn't surprise me. Like I said, the other games weren't marketed over here, really.
What's this? Nope, that's irrelevant. Irrelevant information. That background fail. We'll talk about that. Ubisoft has delayed Skull and Bones again.
I thought this was dead in the water. Get it?
Yeah, I forgot about this game.
I don't think it's going to see the light of day.
No, unless they put it out as like, I don't know, like maybe a some kind of multiplayer add-on for Assassin's Creed or some shit like that. Like that's the only thing that I would say would save this. Because
here's a bet, right?
It does not.
This will tie into another news story. This is going to be free to play, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
And did they not just say that they're going to be doing free to play games as they go down?
I don't know. Maybe. I didn't
no, they definitely did. It was a news article.
Okay. EA Play Live is returning this year on July 22nd. July 22nd. That's way after E3, so that's a weird one. But okay.
I mean, what we'll have Star Wars maybe?
I'll have Battlefield. That'll be it.
Fallen Order 2.
Maybe. But you would think that stuff would get announced at E3 anyway, because they will still have a presence.
They will. They do this all the time. Yeah. Ubisoft, EA show up and they go, "Here's our stuff," and you can see more in July. That's what they do.
Yep. Nintendo Switch has games, and it now has an expensive calculator on it for some reason.
Which is free in every mobile phone, and I mean every mobile phone, not just smartphones. They're charging £8 over here, Andy.
£8 for it, yep.
And I don't even think it's a scientific one that you would use in secondary school, so...
Nope. Just use one on your phone, people. Do not buy this. This is not a game. This is a stupid app that is pointless. And, it really... if there was a need for a calculator app on the Switch, which there is absolutely not, then Nintendo would have put one on there.
That was for Fraser.
You get one built in with your computer. You get one with your phone. You get fucking all the calculators you want on every device. Switch does not need one. And someone charging for one is just abhorrent to me. And selling it as a game, essentially.
Why are you using a big word?
Abhorrent! Okay. Sega is still cool with Sonic fan games, provided no profit is involved.
This is cool of them. Sega have always had this stance. They're like, don't make money and you can have Sonic. And that's how the people in Etsy get away with it as well, because they're not selling the ROM. They're selling you No. The way it works the same way as, do you remember when people get into trouble from selling accounts on Warcraft, and the way they get around it on eBay was buy this card and get the account free? What it basically is in Etsy is it's you're buying the box, somebody's made fan art for a ROM, and the ROM just so happens to be on the cart. That's all it is. They're not charging you for the game if you read the descriptions.
Yeah. Okay. Apple is apparently working on a Nintendo Switch style hybrid console. And Ubisoft is being consulted on this project, apparently. This sounds like nonsense that will never happen. It will not happen. And if it does happen, it will be £800.
They're not doing this. This is a lie. When I read this, I'm like, Apple aren't stupid. They sometimes make decisions that fans of Apple don't like, but they make money. They know there's not a space to push the Switch out the way. Mm-hmm. Can't do it. They've looked at Google. They've seen Google and they've went, no.
I mean, they could obviously sell you fucking controller add-ons for your phone, right? Or for your iPad or whatever. That's what they might do. They might create a kind of in-between phone and iPad size thing. There's a mini iPad. Maybe they could do that and chuck controllers on the side if you wanted them. Say maybe Kindle Fire sort of size. That's the only way.
Yeah, I've already got an Apple handheld because I could just put my what's it called? NVIDIA. No, the Xbox controller thing that I got.
I can't remember. Yeah, I know the thing you mean.
Why would they do it? If anything, they would release a gaming iPod, which is just an iPod that comes with that, like you said. They're not going full blown up against Nintendo in the handheld race. like Sega at the peak of their power couldn't even stand the test of time. Neo Geo disappeared. Handhelds can't fight Nintendo like one-on-one, and there's no room for an alternative when your phone's your handheld already. So business sense, there is none for this news story. There's just none.
None. Zero. Okay, so you can now get paid for finding rare Pokemon cards as long as you're over 18.
So this doesn't make sense to me, right? Because basically, say I was a rich like YouTuber and I've got all the money in the world, and I'm like, Andy, I want you to work for me, and you're like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I want you to find me Charizard. I want the golden Charizard. I'm going to pay you money, and you will buy the card and give it to me. So you buy the card, I settle up with you, and then I've got an expensive card. But what's to stop you going, oh, I didn't find it, and making your own money off it?
It's probably... I think that it's probably some sort of clause in your contract
that you can't sell it.
You're not allowed to make. You're not allowed to sell any.
Oh
Pokemon
no,
cards.
I didn't sell it, but my friend did.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, this.
I bought it on my own time off of the clock.
Totally, yeah. This Pokemon card
It's madness.
It's so daft and stupid, man. Like, why are these cards so much money?
The one that baffled me.
Money for these
nostalgic
cards?
Millionaires. Nostalgic people our age that are millionaires that have got money to waste. It's madness, yeah. But the thing is, why is it took a resurgence now? And the second question is, why did the McDonald's cards, which don't have presumably any value, start going up in value? Because you could literally walk into McDonald's and go, can I have the whole set, please? I don't get the McDonald's ones.
You can only buy one or
Andy,
two.
you can go around and it's not like there's 18 or there's like rare ones. There's like 9 of these or something, 10 maybe. You could literally just go and get 10 Happy Meals and just go, look buddy, my kid really wants the other one.
Yeah.
Those were selling for a fortune as well on eBay.
Yeah. I don't understand it. If someone knows, they want to comment below. Why are Pokemon cards worth so much money? Let us know. It's very strange. Okay, Uncharted 4: Thief's End has been played by over 37 million people.
That's a lot of people, but it's also free.
It wasn't free. It was a £50 game at one point.
I bought it day one, I know that, but it's free on the PlayStation Selects or whatever it's called, the Plus Party free games, whatever the...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that much. This is played by,
right? Played by also counts in the fact it's like a fiver to buy pre-owned. That's counting in as well. Then,
really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big fan base, and like Uncharted isn't going anywhere. Uncharted will be back. The Coalition is not working on a Star Wars game, as was previously rumored. Because they're working on fucking Gears. Like, they're going to be working on Gear 6. That's what they're doing. That's what they do. They don't work on other things. Xbox One Guide has switched off its TV listings, and I didn't even know they were doing this anymore, and no one cares about this because no one.
It never worked in this country. Fact.
It did not work in the UK. No. Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Tell a lie. Tell a lie. That is incorrect. The Wii U one never. The Wii U one was the one that didn't work. The Xbox One did.
Right. Okay, good.
Basically, what you did was you plugged your digital box in. You plugged your digital box in HDMI, and the listings would appear in an app on your Xbox. But I used it once and went, "This is fucking annoying. I'm just gonna not use it again."
Oh, that's what, because it had the HDMI sort of pass through on it.
Yes, you just
had HDMI import on the original Xbox One.
Yeah, so you could plug your Fire Stick, Apple TV, your normal TV, your Skybox in, and basically you would open up TV Guide in the Xbox, and it would be like your app that's already there on your TV, and you've went through so many steps, whereas you could have just left it as it was and pushed source.
Change the channel.
Yeah.
Fucking nonsense. Okay, Xbox Cloud Gaming might now be a requirement for indie developers. So obviously the cloud gaming side of things, you can't play every game through cloud gaming through Game Pass at the moment, but Xbox now look as if they're trying to push indies to make sure that their games are available to play on cloud. I understand like not every game would work if you're playing it like with a touchscreen or anything.
I've sent you a sneak peek on your phone.
Sneak peek. I don't know what it is. All right, okay. It's kind of. Do you know what that reminds me of? And you like
Games
this?
Master.
Robot Wars. Robot Wars.
Oh yeah, it does. Unintentionally so.
It's like it's the pet, mate. That's what it is. Nice, I like it. Okay. Oh, I need to find my place back in the news now. Where were we? Here we go. Yeah, so we spoke at the cloud gaming. I want more games to be playable through touch, because there's a few
You
games
want
where I'm
more?
like, I would play. Yeah.
On your
like
phone?
on Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh,
so
you're a
like, there's
phone
few
gamer now
games
that
where
you
I'm like,
spend money on. What was it? Command and Conquer.
I spent money on one Warhammer 40,000 Lost Crusade game. I think I spent maybe like £10 or £15.
Let's be honest. How much did you really
I
spend?
do not play the game anymore. No, I spent like £5 for like a starter pack, and then I think it's only £15 I spent on it. Total maximum. But like I would like to be able to play one or two games on my phone through Game Pass, right? Through xCloud. But the games that I would play are not available there. So like Football Manager, I would play that, but it's not available there. And I can't remember, there was something else that I was like, I would play that on my phone, and it was not there. I forget what it was. But they need to do a bit more work with that to make it worthwhile for me to use. Most of the games that are there, like I wouldn't play them on touch. Like Hellblade is there, and I'm like, how the fuck would you play Hellblade with touch? There's no way you couldn't do it.
I did try something with touch. Gears of War 5. It's impossible, Andy, because like
Yeah, fuck that.
on the
Fuck.
screen. So you think when you've got your thumbs, right? So you've got the sticks. That works in mobile games. I'm fine with that. But then you've got your R1. We'll call it R1 because it's easier. R1, R2, L1, L2, and it's like they're 4 buttons above. So you've literally got to play Gears of War like this, right? And that's not counting like pushing the blue button. And by the time you've done this, even with a phone, one of the biggest phones in the market, when you're doing this, Andy, how much of Gears of War are you seeing?
None.
None, no wars, no Gears, no war. Maybe that's why it's just Gears 5, because you can't see the war anymore.
You can't see it because it's that's absolutely it. Yeah. PlayStation 5 users are playing more and buying more than PlayStation 4 early adopters. So I think there's something to this story, right? And I think the big thing about this is that the PlayStation 4 was not backwards compatible. I think that must be noted. So people hung on to their PS3 so they could still play their PS3 games. So they would play their new PS4 game, and then they would go, okay, I'm done with the PS4 games. I'll go back and I'll play off and finish off my old PS3 games. PS5 though is backwards compatible, as we know. So people are playing on PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5, and obviously had a bunch of stuff carry over. The other thing as well is that because of the scalping situation, the people that have been able to get hold of PlayStation 5s are the people that are keen as mustard to play the PS5, which are the hardcore gamers, right? The hardcore gamers. Yes, keen as mustard. So those people are the ones that are like, I will pay extra, or I will wait up till like 1, 2 in the morning to make sure I get my PS5. And you can see that translating into how much they're gaming. The casual people who are like, oh yeah, I guess I'll pick a PS5 up now that, like, because it's just there on the shelf. Like, oh yeah, cool. Like, my PS4's kind of getting a wee bit like on its last legs. I'll get a PS5. Those people can't do that. Like, to buy the new FIFA game or PES or like Madden or MLB or whatever. So you're not seeing those people come into the ecosystem yet. So that's why this is a thing. So. According to Wired, right, so the stat here is that PlayStation 5 users have already logged 81% more playtime on PS5 than was achieved on PS4 during the same post-launch period. 81% more. Bearing in mind, like, lockdown as well for a lot of places, like, there's no pubs shit open in most places, like in the UK, like, pubs are open outside only, and it's only May, so it's not exactly like, and especially in Scotland, like, it's not exactly like you want to really go outside and sit outside a pub for a considerable period of time, and no nightclubs or anything open, so people have got more money to spend, some people anyway. But yeah, so that all makes complete sense to me. PS5 is a good console as well. It's a good console. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, Psychonauts is now available with Game Pass. Are you going to play this, Psychonauts?
Yes, I'm going to try it because Fred recommended to us.
Yeah, it's like I think it's a third-person sort of like puzzle platformer type thing. Not totally sure. I've seen like footage of it, but like it doesn't really speak to me that much. It's Double Fine makes it. Why can they not just make Brutal Legend 2? That's what I would play that. Okay, Sonic 2, the movie is or whatever it's going to be called, Sonic's second movie, has wrapped production in Vancouver and it's now off to Hawaii. So it's not finished making the movie yet. So still working on it. Okay. Did you see the leaked screen? The leaked pictures from the movie set a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, with the statues.
Yeah, the giant statues of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Knuckles looks spot on. I'm excited for this movie. I think it's going to knock the first one out the way.
Yep, I think so too. I think the first movie was decent, but you could tell that things had been changed in it, right? Like some things just didn't quite sit right. But it was still a really good movie, and I think with this second movie, like they'll have looked at the feedback from the first one, and obviously from day one they're working with the right Sonic model and not having to like shoehorn it into like scenes that it was never intended for. So yeah, this was going to be way better. Resident Evil Village's PC port is disappointing and needs work, according to Eurogamer. So yeah, there's been some issues with the PC port, and I don't know. Like I watched Fraser stream this on PC a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you watch his stream, but so that's Big Fire Nuts on Twitch.
I didn't, in case he ruined it. But...
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's playing the beginning parts, which are it was before what I watched up to. Anyway, was before where you're at in the game now. So it'd be safe for you to watch now anyway. But I watched him play it for a wee while, and he had some big issues with like sound glitches in that game and like slowdown as well.
Not really. I haven't seen anything like that.
So it was in cutscenes. Like the cutscene would come up, and then it would be like everything would just move in slow motion, and then the sound would be like 5 seconds ahead of like the actions on the screen. It was very strange. And then at one point, like after a cutscene, he was still stuck in slow mo. So he's like moving his gun, and it's going like this. Which was very funny to watch, but I'm sure it was annoying as fuck for him to play, and he had to reboot the game. Once he rebooted the game, it was fine. But yeah, so there's definitely some issues with the PC port, and I think they should have just stuck to next gen with this game and not released it on last gen. And I think the PC port suffered because of them making it work on last gen.
Yes.
With the what? Why am I hearing myself?
I'm trying to. I'm playing about with stuff like I shouldn't be.
Oh no! Oh no! Why are you doing this? Xbox Wire is now celebrating 20 years of Xbox.
Yes.
What is this? Is Xbox 20 years old? Okay, so
yeah.
Oh, it's the Xbox original is 20 years old. Came out in America.
So Xbox is 20 years old. You were right. You were right. Yes.
Cool. I mean, I can remember the original Xbox. I don't remember if I remember it coming out. I remember one of my mates had it. Like, my mate Pete. I remember being at his house. He had it. I remember playing Halo, and I hated it.
Painter Pete.
Painter Pete. Yes. I remember playing it at his house, playing Halo, and I did not like it.
No, I wasn't a fan of the original Xbox at all. So, check your WhatsApp. I'll show you what I've been doing.
Oh my god, he's doing secret things. All right, okay. I mean, we're a bit squished. That needs some.
It does, but it's there.
They are, yeah, in some way. Okay. You continue to work with that. I'll continue with the news. But yeah, 20 years of Xbox, cool. Resident Evil Village's first week sales in Japan were the series' worst in 19 years. That's bizarre because it sold really well, but just not in Japan for some reason. It was the third worst launch week for the series in the country ever, which is strange.
Weird.
It barely even beat Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 4. So... That's mad. How many did it sell? Let's see. Because Japan actually does release their figures. Oh my god, it's so small. I've got a giant screen and this is like the tiniest fucking text. Right, here we go. Okay, in its first week on the market, so first 7 days on the market, it managed to sell 111,000 units on PlayStation 4 and 38,000 units on PlayStation 5, which is like 150. It's not quite that, but like thereabouts. And on Resident Evil 7 on PS4 only, for some reason they only give me PlayStation ones here. It sold 230,000. I suppose Xbox doesn't really count because the Xbox sold fuck all. So yeah, it basically only just beat Resident Evil 1, which sold 148,000 in its first week, and didn't come anywhere near the numbers that Resident Evil 2 or 3 or even Code Veronica. Like Code Veronica did better than it. Resident Evil 0 sold more units than in its first week.
Sold more units than what?
Resident Evil 0 sold 190,000 units in Japan in its first week, and Village only sold 150,000.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's because they called it Village, so it's like Village Biohazard over there.
Yeah, that might be it. Don't know. Resident Evil 5 sold 300,000, 6 sold 600,000, and 7 sold 231,000. So, yeah, Resident Evil's not been doing so well in Japan.
This is a legitimate question about Resident Evil that I've just thought of. Like, Resident Evil 7, what was its subtitle, Andy?
Biohazard.
What's it called in Japan?
Biohazard.
Biohazard 7 Biohazard.
It wasn't called that in Japan, it was just called Biohazard, I think.
Yeah, it's
Biohazard.
weird. I don't get why the Biohazard tag was on it.
Nope, I don't know why either. Biohazard Village, maybe that's why it doesn't make sense.
Village I understand for this game, but I mean, they've called the game Village Resident Evil. Like, not even Resident Evil 8, they've just called it Village Resident Evil.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like the way the title looks in that. Like, I think they should have been Resident Evil. Like,
Resident Evil 8 Village, that's what they should have called it.
I don't even think they should have called it that. I think they should just do away with subtitles and just give it numbers. Like, and especially because they're trying to fucking force the numbers into words. Like, I hate that. That's just so annoying. What is the next game we do called?
9.
Like, Resident Evil 6. Like, that's what it's going to be called.
Fix.
Yeah.
Twix.
Or Twix. Resident Evil Twix. That's what we want.
Next.
PlayStation 5 UK stock was so bad in April that even PlayStation 4 outsold it. This is according to pushsquare.com. I don't have any numbers.
Resident Evil mixed missions, mixed messages, and it's going to be a play on, you know, the ones that come over the thing. Mixed messages. There's your 9. Have it free, Capcom.
I don't like it.
But you don't buy these games, so it's fine. Everyone will like it then. It means it's the best title ever.
Oh wait, right. These actually give a source. Games industry. Okay. So I don't understand why Push Square gives this information right and then doesn't give you the actual figures. So let's see. Can I find the figures for how many consoles were sold?
Resident Evil mixed messages.
Not at a glance. So moving on from that. Push Square is a shit website. I'm sorry, but their reporting is like they give a headline and then don't give any facts to back it up. Like, that's so annoying. Okay, reviews are out for Mass Effect.
Because everyone only reads broadsheets now. To hell with the tabloids. What?
Hell with the tabloids. I will only read the Times and the Guardian. Not the Guardian. The Guardian's tabloid.
Andy has to be able to go camping underneath his newspaper.
Absolutely. No nudie pics in my paper.
Because he votes Tory these days.
Yes. Yeah, early reviews are in for Mass Effect, and it seems to have done quite well so far. What's that on Metacritic? That's the good aggregator.
No, that website's actually decent. So like, it's a lot of publications are doing the good. Yeah, you don't. A lot of publications are, but you don't put enough news in to justify it. You put like 2 news stories a week. That's already there. So the
every time I go to post a news story, I'm like, I was already posted it. And then every time I post a news story, it's like, and Ali goes above, and I'm like,
that's true. It's easier for me at my job because I work with phones to be on my phone. I know you work with phones as well, but my job is, well, and tablets I do as well. But you know what I mean. I work in a phone shop. Your shop just happens to sell phones.
That you have more time to not do work and to do 42
What I'm saying is my job is to be on a phone to sell phones, whereas your job's to sell everything in your shop.
Yeah, my job's to do everything. Okay, anyway, moving on from that. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is 90 on Metacritic just now, which is good. But it's only got 9 critical reviews at the moment. Obviously, it only just came out, so the review embargo, I think, was like today, maybe even. But yeah, it's all pretty much all positive so far. I did pick it up yesterday, and like I've enjoyed it so far. I don't think it looks very good, like graphically, but it looks fine. Like it's not pushing the system at all. But.
What are you talking about? Mass Effect? No, I don't think it's meant to be that either, because it is a last gen game as well. What it's done, and we'll talk more about it on Tuesday, but if you're on the fence and thinking, do I buy it this week, I would say if you've never played the trilogy, this is the way to play the trilogy now, because Mass Effect 1 for me is fine with nostalgia, but Andy would not finish Mass Effect with the old control scheme. This game has succeeded in basically this is sorry, blasphemy to BioWare, but this is it boiled down. They've gave Mass Effect 1 a polish, added Mass Effect 3 models, and changed the entire control scheme to make it playable. That's what they've done. I know there's more to it, but
yeah. Okay, Gears 5 is now going to be forcing crossplay between Xbox and PC players as part of Operation 7 updates. I mean, sure. Like, I don't know. Like, do many people play Gears 5 on PC, do you think? I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
Like, that's an Xbox game, and, like, it's a third-person shooter. Like, most people are going to play that on Xbox. You're not going to get many PC gamers doing that. I can see Halo and stuff, like, doing decent on PC, but not Gears. It doesn't feel like it would work right on a PC. Imagine using a keyboard to play Gears. Like,
well, you don't need to use a keyboard. I mean, you could use your controller still.
Absolutely, that's true. So, like, if you are playing with a controller, then yeah, I suppose that's fine.
But you're right. With keyboard and mouse, it's more for FPS than third person.
Yeah. Okay, Xbox Series consoles also outsold the PS5 last month in the UK. But not the Switch. It didn't outsell the Switch. Switch is still the top performer at the moment because there's plenty of stock available out there. Obviously, Xbox just got a drop of consoles. Like, I definitely saw Series S's available quite widely. Not so much X's. I didn't see very many of those. But S was like I looked on Amazon just randomly one day, and like I could have bought a Series S, no problem.
Series S is like, I don't think there's ever really been as big a problem as there has with the X and the PS5s. PS5s is the worst, I think, because like you said, yeah. I've randomly been on Amazon and it's had a Series X that I could have just bought there and then for £450, but yeah.
Yeah, actually, I mean, with the Xbox Series S, and this is why this console's outselling. Like, I could go on Amazon. I'm actually on Amazon right now. I could buy that for retail price and have it tomorrow. So, like, and like, it's a good console for that price, but like, it just depends what you want out of it. It's this very small hard drive. Bear that in mind.
For the Xbox.
For the Series S, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's small enough in the Series X and the PS5, but this is almost unusably small.
Yeah, you could. It's a good. Like, actually, do you know what? Like, as far as, see if you just play Fortnite. Or like something like that.
Yeah.
If you're like a one game type person, or like just want to play an odd game on Game Pass, Series S is perfect for that. And like, that's
if you don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like, still upscales and stuff a wee bit. Like,
doesn't do 4K.
That's still the best Fortnite box that you can buy right now. Xbox Series S, £250. That's
absolutely.
Buy that, 100%.
Yeah.
You bundles with that later this year. I would bet that I have Fortnite.
Maybe another purple one.
some sort of skin or something. Maybe like a different color. Yeah, could be. Okay. Mass Effect Legendary Edition does have a launch issue with certain Xbox accessories.
Weird.
You experienced this.
So, yeah, I thought last night when I was streaming. So I went to stream it. Obviously, I changed my console region. I'd legally purchased the game to New Zealand. And maybe if anybody's listening, it could give me into trouble for this. Maybe I was thinking about moving to New Zealand. And then the next day, the wife said, you're not moving to New Zealand. So I had to change my region back. But anyway, I got to play Mass Effect early. And when I went, I downloaded Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. However, when I went to stream it last night, it kept like shutting down, like boom. Like it would load up the BioWare logo, the Mass Effect sort of mini cutscene, then it would briefly glimpse the dashboard of Mass Effect Legendary Edition and go boom. And it worked eventually, but the crazy thing is that I was using the Xbox Series X wireless headphones at the time, and that's the explanation. I've never heard of this problem before, that a Bluetooth connection could mess up a game launching somehow.
Yeah, that's very strange. Like, I don't understand why this is.
Are they tapping into your Bluetooth while the game's running for whatever reason? Like
what? And if they are, why?
Yeah, this opens up more questions to me. Like, are they spying on us like your phone does all the time? Would they? I don't know. Like, it's weird. There's obviously a line of code somewhere that's.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think this is, right? I think this is actually like, so the Xbox headset, the one that you have, is the like using some new technology, isn't it? That's inside the Xbox
Radio. Yeah, it's called.
Right. So what I think has happened is that when you've got that connected, that's trying to pull the sound from the game, and I think that the game doesn't have the line of code in it that it needs to pump the sound to your headset. I think that's what it is, and then it just goes, I don't know what to do here.
Shut down.
I can't, but like, okay, very weird. But yeah, you would have thought that they would have had that ironed out before launch, but apparently not. So, I take it you just played without the headset.
No, I streamed it last night. I streamed it on Twitch with the headset. It worked eventually. It was just trial and error. Like, eventually it loaded up. I just assumed because I was playing it early for my actual region that it was like, no, you're not streaming this, or like they'd put a block in New Zealand from streaming it because it wasn't out elsewhere to the 14th. Like, but then again, I thought this game's been out for years, but maybe it was to avoid spoilers for how the game looked and played. But no, it turns out my headset was crashing the game. Weird.
And finally, the last news story is that Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is coming to Xbox Game Pass at launch when it releases. I believe it's out in June.
See, I sent you this, like, I was talking to you. Well, did I talk to you about it, or I just mentioned it to you the other day? I didn't post a news story. But this game actually looked okay for a Dungeons and Dragons game. I think it was pretty cheaply priced anyway from what I seen it. I think it was about $34.99. I think it was about that.
You sent me the links to the Dark Alliance remaster, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
No. Earlier on I said Dungeons and Dragons Game Pass.
Today?
I don't know if it was today. I don't know what chat it was in. We're in so many chats.
Anyway, like we were talking, maybe, I can't remember, last week or something, about Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, we should get this to do co-op. But instead of that, let's not do that, and let's play this one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. So let's play this one instead. But this is coming to Game Pass. This could be our Gears replacement on a Wednesday, because this is a fun as fuck game.
If it's good.
If it's as good as Dark Alliance 1 and 2 were the Baldur's Gate ones, which I don't doubt that it will be. Like, yes, this is yes, I like the look of this. Hopefully I can play as a dwarf. That's all I need.
Yeah, there. Look, I sent you.
Picture, so.
What's that?
There's a dwarf in the picture. I can be a dwarf. I'm happy. I will play this. What are you showing me?
I'm done.
But anyway, beside the point, we will settle this argument off the air. But yeah, that's the last news story. There is no more news. There is no more news for us to read about.
So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, watching, listening to myself and Andy for this week. We do We do content Monday to Friday, weekdays, sometimes at the weekend randomly. But Andy, if the people out there want to know what else we're doing, where they can find us, and what it is we're doing when they find us, then please let them know. There you go. I did say it to you. I said, just before I showed you my new socks.
He's like, I don't care about the show anymore. I only want
there.
to Andy. I can't read that on this.
I will screenshot it. I sent it to you. Just as you were like, are these PlayStation controllers legit? I said, new D&D Game Pass.
Very good. That's amazing. So yeah, as you were saying, we do content every weekday, 9 p.m. UK time. You can find on a Monday, you can find me still sucking at Bloodborne. On a Tuesday, you've got the 40th Level 1 podcast where we talk about all the games we've been playing through the week. On a Wednesday, you've got Gears of Wednesday, where we're playing through the Gears of War series, currently on Gears 5, which is going to be the last game, and then we'll need to move on to something else, which hopefully will be this Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance game, if I can convince Ali to play that. Then on
I'll give it a shot at least once.
Yeah. Then on a Thursday, you've got Get About Thursdays with Ali, who does whatever the fuck he wants. This week he just went totally rogue and played 2 different games.
3?
For like... 3 different
I played
games?
Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I played Returnal, and I played Resident Evil.
Okay, I didn't see you playing Mass Effect. Oh no, I decided I wasn't going to watch this one.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he did. Because he was like, oh, I must do 3 videos.
And I said I was only going to make I did like an hour of Mass Effect. I did almost an hour of both other games as well. I did like 3 hours.
And I did play Returnal actually on Monday.
You
I did an extra.
So you went rogue as well? It's not just me that's off the rails.
I went roguelike in Returnal.
Roguelite.
And then on a Friday...
Yeah, but I could end you. I can't end Returnal.
Wrapping up the week with all of the video game news that you need to know about through the week on a Friday.
Yes, thanks for watching. Thanks for Big Firenuts contributing in the chat. Go and watch him on Twitch. He's always there. Twitch.com. Twitch. What is the website? I can't even log in hours.
Twitch.tv/BigFirenuts.
Why didn't they pay for a .com?
Because it's TV. Like
it's not T-fucking-V. It's .com. It's
Twitch.
This is like, do you remember when I had those websites years and years ago for like Starling Radio and that, and it was like some random country and it was like StarlingCityRadio.ak or .jk and stuff like that's what this is. Twitch.tv's nonsense.
If you go to twitch.com/BigFirenuts, it'll take you to the same place. So
do that instead. Don't do the TV thing. Although for some reason it wouldn't let me log into the 42 Twitch when I put .com instead. Don't know why.
No.
Anyway, thank you. Thanks. Anyway, yes, we'll catch you all. Andy will catch you all on Monday for his Bloodborne stream at 9 p.m. UK time. Bye. Did you mute yourself?